Boehner today brought a new bill to the floor that doubles the cuts to $39 billion over the next 10 years.
After we pass the nutrition bill today, we'll send it over to the Senate.
Food stamp usage has ballooned in recent years. In 2000, 17 million Americans received food stamps. Today, it's rocketed to 48 million.
The reforms made by this bill will put people on the path to self-sufficiency and independence.
Eligibility requirements under President Obama have been dramatically eased. If an applicant receives some other form of government welfare, they now qualify for food stamps, leading eligibility to creep up the income scale.
We're a nation of immigrants. We are built that way, and our law would expect and calls for allowing immigrants to come who are able to sustain themselves and not be a public charge as a historic rule. We have instances now of the promotion of the SNAP program in foreign consulates. I think that's unwise and unnecessary. It would simply prohibit the expenditure of funds to promote the SNAP program in foreign embassies.
Clerk will call. No.
Chairman Murray, the vote is 10 yeas and 12 nays.
The amendment is not agreed to.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No taxpayer should be forced to fund an organization that aborts more than 350,000 unborn babies every year. This is a common sense truth that even pro-abortion activists have a hard time arguing. So guess what? They changed the argument. They pretend that abortion doesn't exist and that Planned Parenthood is the only place where low-income women can get health care. Taking away taxpayer funding from Planned Parenthood means denying women access to health care, they say. That's untrue. Anybody spreading that should be ashamed. There are more than 13,000 federally qualified and rural health centers throughout this country offering low-cost health care to women. They outnumber Planned Parenthood clinics 20-1. If this was really about making sure women had access to health care, we could all agree right now that supporting these community health centers is the right thing to do. But that's not what this is about. You see, because community health centers don't perform abortions. Planned Parenthood does. That's what this is about. It's about preserving a pipeline of funding to the nation's largest abortion provider. We all get this. So let's drop the phony women's health charade. I yield back.
Gentlelady, you.
I come to the Senate floor today to ask my Republican colleagues a question. Do you have any idea what year it is? Did you fall down, hit your head, and think you woke up in the 1950s or the 1890s? Should we call for a doctor? Because I simply cannot believe that in the year 2015, the United States Senate would be spending its time trying to defund women's health care centers.
Pro-abortion activists stop using the word abortion. Instead of using the A word, they use terms like women's health or reproductive rights. It's a clever word game designed to disguise the truth and build artificial support. After all, who would be against the health of a woman? Who would oppose anyone's right to reproduce? But what about the baby's health? What about the unborn child's right to live? They don't call it abortion anymore because people understand what abortion is. It's the taking of a life. It is death where life once existed. It is cruel and tragic, and there is no place in the federal budget for funding it. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield back.